In a world where influence dictates success and silence breeds Machiavelli offers a playbook for the brave. His most famous work, The Prince, doesn't teach morality, it teaches dominance. Machiavelli wasn't concerned with what should be done, he focused solely on what works, to control and manipulate others. The first rule is clarity of intention. You must know what you want: power, loyalty, fear, admiration, and be willing to act in the shadows to get it. Machiavelli believed that a ruler who is loved is weak unless he is also feared. Being feared is not the same as being hated. Fear compels obedience, but hatred inspires rebellion. The clever manipulator strikes a balance. He punishes when necessary, but always with reason or skill. Never let your cruelty be senseless. Begin by cultivating a reputation for virtue, even if it's false. Appear generous, honest, and merciful, but only when it benefits you. The key isn't to be good, but to appear good. Manipulation starts with illusion. Machiavelli says a prince must learn how not to be good. This doesn't mean cruelty without cause, but the calculated use of immorality. Lie, deceive, and betray only when it serves a greater strategy. Control the narrative and you control the people. Use people's emotions against them. Most are governed by their desires and fears, not by logic. Feed their hopes, promise security, and they will follow you blindly. But always keep them uncertain. Predictability breeds complacency. Master the art of timing. One of Machiavelli's greatest lessons is that power is not just about force, it's about when to use it. Know when to wait, when to speak, and when to strike. Timing can elevate a pawn into a king. The masses are easy to manipulate because they think in symbols. Give them a hero to worship, a villain to blame, and a vision to believe in. Create an identity for them: national, tribal, religious, and you will own their hearts. Surround yourself with loyal but disposable allies. Machiavelli warns that men will betray for ambition, money, or survival. So choose allies you can discard when needed, and never give someone enough power to become your rival. Remember this rule: it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Love is fragile, it can turn into contempt. Fear, however, is a stronger leash. Make people respect the consequences of disobedience more than the rewards of loyalty. In public, always perform virtue. In private, use vice wisely. A Machiavellian leader knows that morality is a mask. It hides your intentions, while your hands do the real work. Power is never innocent, and if it looks innocent, it's only because the mask fits well. Do not rely on luck. Machiavelli calls it fortuna, and he compares her to a wild woman. She favors the bold, but she cannot be trusted. Take fate by force when you can, and prepare for her betrayal when she turns. Never reveal your full strategy. Keep people guessing. Say less than necessary. The more others speculate about your next move, the more control you have. Uncertainty is a tool. It makes your opponents hesitate. When people are discontent, give them an enemy to blame. Machiavelli knew that the public will tolerate hardship if they believe it's someone else's fault. Invent enemies, even if they don't exist. Manipulate outrage to consolidate control. Always control the appearance of choice. Let people think they chose you, even when they were manipulated into it. Give them two paths, both leading to your desired outcome. Control the illusion of freedom and they will never rebel. Never trust a newly conquered territory or a newly loyal friend. Machiavelli insists that past enemies often hide future danger. Eliminate threats early, before they become strong enough to challenge you. Mercy now can mean destruction later. Divide and conquer. Keep people fighting among themselves so they can't unite against you. Create class divisions, ideological battles, or political influence. Distract them with chaos and rule through the silence it leaves behind. Use religion as a tool. Machiavelli admired the church not for its holiness, but for its ability to control millions with a story. Wrap your manipulation in divine language, and the masses will obey as if disobedience is sin. Maintain control of information. Machiavelli would thrive in the age of media. He'd understand that if you control what people see and hear, you control what they believe. Shape the truth or distort it because perception becomes reality. Punish betrayal harshly and publicly. Do it once and make it memorable. Others will fear the same fate. Machiavelli believed that a single dramatic example has more power than 100 quiet warnings. Survival is not weakness, it's strategy. Adapt like a chameleon. Be fierce when needed, gentle when required, but never lose your core. The will to dominate. As Machiavelli says, the ends justify the means, especially when the prize is power. To manipulate anyone, you must first manipulate yourself. Reinvent your persona. Tailor your behavior to the people around you, and wear the face they want to see. Machiavelli didn't believe in authenticity, he believed in utility. People judge by appearances, not by results. So, become a master of disguise. Smile with sincerity while your mind calculates betrayal. Speak of loyalty while laying traps. To control others, they must never suspect they are being controlled. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must imitate both the lion and the fox. The lion uses strength, the fox uses cunning. Alone, each animal is vulnerable. Together, they are untouchable. Be bold when needed, sly when unnoticed. Learn to fake weakness, to invite underestimation. Your enemies will expose themselves when they think you're harmless. Use humility as bait, not as a virtue. Then strike when they feel safest, because power is most effective when unexpected. Control starts with listening. Let others talk. Let them reveal their secrets, ambitions, weaknesses. The more they speak, the more you learn, and the more invisible your manipulation becomes. Information is the battlefield where silent wars are won. Do not reveal your true intentions. Speak vaguely, speak diplomatically, and contradict yourself if needed. Machiavelli knew that clarity is dangerous. It gives your opponents a target. Ambiguity keeps them guessing, and doubt weakens decision. Flatter those in power, but never depend on them. A Machiavellian mind respects strength but stays autonomous. Use others as ladders. Climb without loyalty, and if the ladder breaks, find another. Alliances are tools, not commitments. Give people what they want until they want you. Promise, protection, success, change, or revenge. Make them believe that their destiny is tied to yours. Once they're emotionally invested, they'll defend you even when logic tells them not to. Sometimes, to gain influence, you must create dependency. Offer solutions to problems you've secretly created. Solve the chaos you subtly engineer. When people believe you're the only answer, they will never risk replacing you. Enemies are more useful alive than dead if handled right. Let them exist as warnings, distractions, or Machiavelli saw conflict as a tool. Unite your supporters against a common villain, even if that villain is imaginary. Control the narrative before truth catches up. Machiavelli would be obsessed with modern propaganda. Spread stories, manipulate perception, silence opposition not through violence, but through volume. The loudest voice becomes the truth. Learn to reward publicly and punish privately unless you need to send a message. In that case, punish once, decisively, and with spectacle. As Machiavelli says, cruelty must be swift and unforgettable. It should terrify, not disgust. People do not love virtue, they love comfort. So give them comfort, even if it's a lie. Say what they want to hear, deliver what they expect, and they will follow your lead even into ruin. Manipulation becomes easy when people fear change more than chains. Stir emotion before you ask for loyalty. Logic rarely moves them out. Give them passion, fear, patriotism, outrage, then they'll listen. Once their hearts are yours, their minds no longer need convincing. Use rewards like leashes. Give praise, promotions, gifts, but always conditionally. Make your approval addictive. Machiavelli knew that if people need your favor to feel valuable, they will sacrifice anything to keep it. Never stay consistent for too long. Predictability breeds rebellion. Change your tone, your message, even your values if needed. Keep people off balance because confusion weakens resistance, and manipulation thrives in blurred lines. Do not argue, distract, do not explain, confuse. In manipulation, clarity is a trap. Give people so much to think about, so many moving parts, that they never realize what truly matters. Misdirection is not weakness, it is warfare. A good manipulator always builds exits. If a plan fails, blame others. If loyalty fades, abandon it first. If exposure comes, deny, discredit, disappear. Machiavelli didn't just preach demeanor, he preached survival through adaptation. When you rise, crush those below gently. Machiavelli wants that resentment grows in silence. Use charm to cover ambition. Apologize without sincerity. Make those you defeat feel like it was their idea. That is power without protest. In war and politics, mercy is weakness unless it gains you more power. Be generous when it buys loyalty. Be forgiving when it earns submission. But never forget, power kept by fear lasts longer than love gained through pity. Create rituals, routines, and roles. People crave structure, it gives them meaning. Build systems that make them feel important, even when they're controlled. Machiavelli understood that control feels better when it's invisible. Let them see you bleed, but never too much. Vulnerability is a performance that can humanize a leader, but overdone, it becomes a weapon in the hands of enemies. Machiavelli advised, use pity to gain trust, then sharpen the blade. Do not seek fairness, seek advantage. Morality can be bent, laws can be rewritten, history can be retold. The manipulators of the world are not bound by justice, they define it. Control the framework, and every action becomes justified. And above all, do not hesitate. People follow decisiveness, not indecision. They trust those who seem certain, even if that certainty is a lie. Machiavelli believed that boldness is a weapon. Use it recklessly if you must, but never timidly. If you want to control people, control how they think before you control what they do. Machiavelli taught that power is psychological long before it is physical. It begins in the mind and spreads like a shadow. You don't need an army to control the masses, you need an idea. A message that taps into fear, hope, or pride. A vision of the future, with you at the center. People will die for a flag, a crown, or a story, especially if it makes them feel important. make people believe they're part of something greater than themselves. Machiavelli knew that unity is not born, it is manufactured. Use symbols, slogans, songs, rituals. These aren't ornaments of control, they are control. Fear is more reliable than love because fear is selfish. People will betray love to protect themselves, but fear holds them hostage. Instill just enough fear to stay in control, but never enough to provoke rebellion. It's a razor's edge, but a powerful one. If someone crosses you, destroy them completely. Machiavelli warned, never half-crush your enemy. A wounded threat becomes a future storm. Leave no path for revenge, no room for return. Eliminate them so that others never even consider resistance. People obey patterns. Break those patterns and you own their attention. Shock them, surprise them, awe them. Predictability breeds boredom, and boredom kills influence. Keep them watching, guessing, fearing. You'll always be one move ahead. Every group has influencers, use them. Find the voices others listen to and turn them into your messengers. Let them spread your message without knowing it. Machiavelli would call this invisible conquest, control through delegation, not domination. Create loyalty through controlled favors. Help others climb, but only far enough that they still need you. A loyal subject should feel indebted, never equal. When they owe their success to you, betrayal becomes self-punish. Betrayal early, quietly, and effectively. A small act of discipline today prevents a coup tomorrow. Let others know the price of disloyalty and never apologize for justice. Machiavelli believed mercy invites treason when used at the wrong time. Use gossip as a weapon. People trust what they overhear more than what they're told. Leak information, plant rumors, shape reputations in the shadows. Control the whispers, and the silence will work for you. Do not fight every battle, choose the ones that matter. Machiavelli says a wise ruler lets small offenses slide if the victory cost is too high. Appear calm even when plotting. Forgive small slights to lull enemies into exposing greater weaknesses. Encourage ambition in your enemies, but only to expose their greed. Give them rope, let them rise, then pull the ground from under them. Nothing collapses faster than pride, and no fall is more entertaining to the crowd. Control the economy, and you control people's lives. Machiavelli may have ruled in a time of swords, but money has always been a sharper blade. Reward loyalty with jobs, punish rebellion with poverty. Manipulation is easier when survival is currency. Be seen but selectively. Overexposure breeds familiarity, and familiarity kills mystique. Appear in moments of triumph, vanish in times of tension. Machiavelli's ideal ruler was both present and disintouchable, but untouchable. When you need to deceive, tell 80% truth. People will trust what's mostly accurate and ignore the lies buried inside. Wrapped manipulation in honesty, it's the sugar that makes poison easy to swallow. Keep your friends divided. Never let them become allies without your approval. Encourage jealousy, reward selectively, and rotate your inner circle. Unity without your control becomes conspiracy. Dividend rule. If rebellion brews, offer reform, but only cosmetic. Let people believe they've won small victories. Make a show of listening, of changing, and once they calm, resume your agenda. It's not suppression, it's seduction through fake progress. Use nostalgia to bind people to the past. Make them fear what's unfamiliar. Convince them that you are the guardian of tradition, even if you plan to destroy it. Machiavelli said people fear change. Use that fear to hold them still. Become a myth. Let stories of your brilliance, cruelty, or generosity spread, even if exaggerated. Legends survive facts. Machiavelli admired Caesar Borgia, not for what he was, but for what people believed he was. Build an image stronger than the truth. Let people argue about you. The more you're discussed, the more you dominate their minds. Good or bad, attention is power, silence is death. Train the next generation, but make sure their loyalty is to you, not themselves. Give them knowledge, but limit their ambition. Machiavelli believed education was a double-edged sword. It must be wielded with caution. Create laws that benefit you but seem fair to others. The best control is legal control. When oppression looks like order, no one resists it. Let your enemies scream about injustice, while your followers celebrate stability. Tell people what they want to hear, but act in your interest. Let them believe you stand for justice, truth, equality, while you pursue power, profit, and preservation. Let your words distract from your hands. If you're ever caught, deny, deflect, destroy the evidence, blame a scapegoat, fire a loyalist, fake outrage. Machiavelli didn't care about innocence, he cared about survival. Guilt means nothing when you control the trial. And finally, never stop playing the game. The moment you think you've won, you're vulnerable. Power is a throne made of knives. You must sit carefully, think constantly, and trust no one completely, not even yourself. Control is not a moment, it is a lifetime of movement. Machiavelli knew that power, once gained, demands constant preservation. This is not a journey of conquest, it is a game of endurance. You've deceived, divided, dominated. But now comes the hardest part. Keeping it, because the top is not a destination, it's a battlefield where the enemies are quieter and the daggers sharper. The wise manipulator never rests. The moment you relax, you give birth to your replacement. Someone is always watching, always learning, always planning your downfall, even someone you trained. Use succession as another form of control. Choose heirs who are competent but not brilliant. Let them seem like a continuation of your greatness but never a threat to your legacy. Rule beyond your years through design. Reputation becomes your most powerful weapon. In time, you no longer need to act, the legend does it for you. Let your name echo with weight. Fear what you might do becomes stronger than fear of what you will do. In the modern world, image is the new army. Control your reflection online, in media, in memory. Machiavelli would say, if perception builds power, then manage perception like a tyrant guards his crown. Make people dependent on your presence. Be the center of the room, the solution to every crisis, the judge of every truth. Manipulation matures into mastery when people stop asking if they need you and start asking how much. Use enemies to sharpen yourself. Without conflict, you grow soft. Without challenge, you become dull. Machiavelli understood. A leader without opposition is a leader who forgets how to fight. Cultivate opposition to strengthen your edge. Build institutions that protect you, even when you're not there. Let loyalty be embedded into systems. Let the game play in your favor even when you're not holding the dice. That's when power becomes permanent. Silence your inner need to be liked. Those who obsess over being loved will be manipulated by those who promise it. Instead, choose respect. Let people admire you with fear, not fondness. Love fades. Respect endures. If you must kill your past, do it elegantly. Erase weaknesses from your story. Burn bridges behind you but cover the smoke with flowers. Machiavelli believed that history is not written by the winners, it's rewritten for them. Weaponize virtue. Be generous when the world is watching. Be merciful when the world is bleeding. Not because you care, but because it builds influence. The greatest manipulation is making people think they're choosing good when they're choosing you. Create crises, then offer calm. Panic opens the door to obedience. People crave saviors more than they crave freedom. Machiavelli would whisper, be the storm but arrive like the sun. Forgive loudly, forget never. Public forgiveness makes you noble, private records make you untouchable. Let the world see your grace. Let your enemies feel your memory. Understand when to disappear. A true Machiavellian knows when to exit the room, the throne, the emperor on their own terms. Retire when applause is loudest. Leave as a legend, not a prisoner of relevance. And if you return with fire. The final act of mastery is resurrection. The world forgets quickly, remind them who you were and what you still are. Influence that sleeps is not dead, it's dormant. Because ultimately, the world doesn't belong to the righteous. It belongs to the ruthless who smile, to those who write laws with one hand and break them with the other, to those who rule not by birthright but by boldness. Machiavelli didn't create the rules, he exposed them. The powerful don't rise by playing fair. They rise by understanding human nature and using it like a sword in a velvet glove. So if you wish to control and manipulate everyone, do not beg for power. Take it. Don't ask for permission. Act. Don't hope they'll follow. Make them. Control is not something you earn, it's something you seize. And remember, the world bows to those who learn to wear a mask long enough that they become it.